So, good morning to you. God, what a thunderstorm last night. It's amazing. Absolutely splendiferous. Cracking and banging right overhead. We had some torrential rain. I think we needed it though. We hadn't had any proper rain for a long time. But it all seems to mainly have gone now. Got a giant fear in front. Anyway, what I wanted to talk to you about today is the W800 and the Royal Enfield Continental GT. Yeah, because they're both marvellous. In fact, they're both bloody marvellous, moving to splendiferous. Now, comparing the two is a really fair comparison from a riding point of view. From a finish point of view, you know, I've said this again and again about the Kawasaki. This W800 series that they do, they've thrown everything at it. I'm telling you, Kawasaki have thrown everything at it because the quality is outstanding. Yes, the suspension could be better, but I'm on about the finish. Everything is just splendiferous, and that's not to say that the Continental GT is not well finished. It is marvellous. In theory, the W800 costs over £9,000, about £9,500 for the calf. Yeah, a lot of money. But I've never seen one for sale, brand new, at that price. Never. Not even when I bought Wendy here. No, bizarre. They're just not a popular bike amongst people who go to Kawasaki shops, obviously. I find it very strange. But back, so really, whilst you could say, yeah, the Kawasaki's £3,000 more than the Continental, it's not really. You probably can't get one this year. I don't know if anyone's tried, but you can buy nearly new ones with really low mileage for between £5,500 and £7,000. Which make it slightly more expensive, I guess, than the Continental. The Continental, I would say, possibly handles a little bit better, but that could be down to the tyres. They are very similar to ride. I would say the Continental is slightly more comfortable, though I don't find this particularly uncomfortable. So again, I mean, this is a really close match, with not a lot between it, and I would actually like to own both. I really would. If I could afford it, I would. I'd have a Continental GT as well, and I'm not going to get rid of Wendy to get a Continental GT, because that'd be madness. You know, my quest is to find the perfect bike for me, the bike that fills me full of joy, that gets rid of my stress and brings me pleasure. And Wendy does it, Bertie does it in bucketfuls, and I think with the Continental GT I've done that. I'm sure. I've got to keep looking. Because what I'm learning as I'm doing this is that riding different bikes can make you think about the qualities of another bike, if you know what I mean. Do you know what? It's raining. I've got no waterproofs on. Can't believe it. I said to Mrs. Ollier, motorcyclist, she said, have you got your waterproofs? I said, oh no, they're buried in the cupboard. I won't need them today. Look at it, bloody raining, marvellous. Anyway, back to this mutter. So, if we do a comparison of the senses, you know, to look at, both bikes look different, but they could both be straight out of the 60s, early 70s. Oh no, I'm going to get really wet now. This was a mistake. Yeah, they could be both straight out of the 60s. They're both that calf racer style without being over the top. I'd love, I think if I ever get a Continental, maybe to put a little screen on like this one, like Wendy's, not one of those little nose ones, but you know, I'm not that fussed about it. I don't think it's the be all and end all. They're both the W800 and the Continental both need slip-ons, different slip-ons, and I've heard them. My mate in Thailand, he's got an Interceptor, and his Interceptor sounds marvellous. And I've heard some W800s, but I don't know what they've done to the exhaust. I don't know where they've got them from. And there's Wendy's coming out of warranty shortly. So, you know, that'll be on the list. So, you know, from a looks point of view, it's even Stevens. They're different, but they're completely marvellous, bloody marvellous to splendiferous. And then we get to the sound, and they do sound lovely. If you're behind them, they're a bit quiet, that's the only thing. If you stood behind them, they are marvellous, they sound beautiful. And I keep meaning to do you a little video of Wendy doing a drive-by. I'll do that, because she does have a beautiful voice. And I know from seeing other people on the Continental what that sounds like from behind. So sound, yeah, marvellous, bloody marvellous. Not splendiferous, no, not without a slip-on, but full of potential. Yeah, both bikes potential. So again, even Stevens, really, even Stevens. So what's that? The taste? I'm not doing the taste. You know that I'm not going to do the taste. To touch, Kawasaki, you know, both bikes are lovely. You know, you run your hand over them, the paintwork is so smooth, the finish, those polished aluminium engine casings on the Continental, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And but you know, the Kawasaki W800, I think, edges ahead. So the W800 nudges ahead on the touching, the feeling, for me anyway. But it is very, very close, very close. Yeah, we were on to the sixth sense. And you know, how does it make me feel? Well, they both make me feel bloody marvellous. They really do. In fact, how on earth do you choose between the two? They're both really free-flowing engines. They rev like crazy. They're happy to whiz round. They've both got two clocks. They make a lovely picture. They've both got Mickey Mouse mirrors. They're simple. This doesn't have a fuel gauge. No, Continental has fuel gauge and a gear indicator. Yeah, neither of those are present at the W800, but it doesn't really matter. You know, you feel what gear you're in. Sometimes you can forget, I suppose, but it's pretty difficult, isn't it? Cost, like I say, in reality the W800's a lot more expensive. Not in reality, in practice, in theory it's a lot more expensive, but in reality they're not. They're the same price, or there or thereabouts. Not a lot in it. Servicing is probably a little bit less on the Kawasaki, to be honest, because it does more miles. The Kawasaki is more vibey than the Continental. That's true, that's definite. But I've got these little foam grips on, don't know, hand puppies or cush puppies or whatever, and they work marvellously. So the mirrors on Wendy are sublime. You see everything you want behind you, and the Continental pretty much the same. I think Wendy's are probably a little bit clearer, and yet smaller at the same time. If you look, the stems are smaller. Maybe it's just the angle, balance. Pretty much the same. They're two bikes that really are competitors. Speed, I guess Wendy's pretty quick when you get going. You know, she'll whiz round to speeds well in excess of the national speed limit, and in fact the motorway speed limit. I haven't ridden, because the Continental's not running. When I test rode it, I didn't trash it, I didn't spin it all the way around, so I can't say, but it'll be enough. I know it'll be enough. Yeah, someone popping horn, someone not happy. So yeah, it's a tough one, very, very tough. You know, you're splitting hairs between them. For me, there'll be W800 owners going, "No, you can't compare this quality of this to a Royal Enfield," and there'll be Royal Enfield owners saying, "How can you compare this to that Japanese machine?" Well, you know what? They're both bloody marvellous to splendiferous, both of them. And they could both easily get splendiferous on many points. Yeah, that's what I think anyway. There are those who will undoubtedly disagree with me, but Wendy's not going, and we'll see what we can do about a Continental. But I'm still testing bikes. I'm still gonna might find something completely different. You never know. Look what happened to Betty.